Lions TV, this is a little match report from the game I've just watched between Cardiff City, Steve Morrison's Cardiff City under-23s and Millwall under-23s. It got posted on the Cardiff website. Fair play to Cardiff. They had, not just the game, but two commentators, replays and everything. So it just shows you the sort of spectrum you're looking at with a Cardiff City as a club. I did post the links out in quite good time for today's game. As soon as I had them, I posted them out on all the social media platforms. So if you're not following us, please follow us on, especially this one, Instagram. I like this one a lot. So yeah, we're nearly on 10,000 subscribers. Let's get into the game. This was the starting 11. Of course, one that will stick out for you there is Abdul Malik on the bench along with Nana Boateng. It's a very strong attacking Millwall side. Let's try and make sense of that in the team sheet. Harry Gilmore in goal had a very, very good game. Ockley, Topoloj and Arthur Penny, three centre-halves. Walker and Obdom Malaki was the wing-backs. I think it was Sean O'Brien in next to Alfie Allen with Jaden Davis, Seb Drods and Tyrese Briscoe up front as a lone striker. The game plan just didn't work. Listen, fair play to Cardiff. I'm going to put a positive spin on this straight away. We went to Cardiff last season with a lot of second-year pros and a lot of players that are no longer at the club, and we lost by 3-0. Today, we've given a good account of ourselves, especially in the second half. We've only lost by 2-0 with a lot of first-year pros, so definitely some positives to take from that. But we played Tyrese Briscoe as a lone striker, and we was continually pumping balls long to him in the first half, and it just was not working. It just kept coming back, which culminated in chance after chance for Cardiff, and 3 very good saves from Harry Gilmore in the first half. First one, he comes out, spreads himself. It was actually offside, but it wasn't to know that. Good save. The second one is great play from Cardiff. And what Cardiff did and how they hurt us in the game was a way that we never ever do as a first team or as a 23s really, is break lines. We either try and go long or we try and get the ball wide and cross balls into the box. The ones I'm talking about is them little ones, flat ones, straight ones, in between, along the floor, slide rule passes. They used to be called on Championship Manager, if you remember that. In between centre-backs and full-backs, just slotted in for people running in behind and running beyond and getting defenders turning towards their own goal. And that's how they carved out some great chances. The second save from Gilmore was really good. Left-handed down to his left. Fantastic save. Gets up, catches the rebound. I've not seen him at all, I don't think. I was going to say I've not seen a lot of him. I think I've seen him play half of a half before. It's usually, of course, Joe Wright. I don't know where he was today, whether he's on the bench or what, but Joe Wright didn't play, and Harry Gilmore did. So really encouraging performance from Harry Gilmore in goal. Eventually, it was coming, and they got the breakthrough. Just getting overrun, really. Not even in midfield, just getting balls wide and slick 1-2s, overlapping, just very pacey, very good side. I think, there's not going to be many sides that go to Cardiff City this year to the 23s, to the training ground. It's windy, it was horrible, it was raining, they're a good side. It's always going to be a very difficult place to go. And when they get the goal again, we try and press. They're just picking us off with too quick with the passes. The ball in behind is brilliant. It actually takes 3 defenders out of the game. And the Cardiff striker runs onto it, left foot. Gilmore, absolutely no chance. It was also a chance for me today to see Seb Drods for the first time. He's the player we signed from Uxbridge not too long ago. And I was interested in this one because I think it was, I don't know for definite, but it's definitely one of Harvey Bustle's first signings as the new head of recruitment. So it's interesting to see how he fared. And he hadn't featured this season, but he did last week when we beat Barnsley. And he scored 2 goals in that game. Very interesting one because, again, I thought he was quite slight and quite skinny, but he's actually really well built. He's got a good frame on him. And I think this is where football is suffering in general these days, because he has come from Uxbridge, non-league, men's football, but he was so direct and so determined, and he was just kicking lumps out of them, getting stuck in, just like an old school footballer, because I think he's got a raw talent. Unfortunately, the way football is in general these days, they'll take that out of him. They'll train that out of him and want him to do these pop 2-yard passes, move, come in again, go again, retain the ball where possible. And he was really refreshing to watch, Seb Drods, because you can see he's come from men's football. He was fearless, he was direct, and it was good for us going forward in the few opportunities we did have in the first half. The one great opportunity we have in the first half was the fullback Walker, who looks good to me as well, tall, pacey, and can play. squares the ball to Sean O'Brien. Sean O'Brien's released an absolute thunderbolt from about 35 yards, 30 yards. It's going in the top bin. Fantastic save from the Cardiff goalkeeper. And that was pretty much us until very, very late in the game. We go in at half-time by, obviously, a deficit of 1-0. We come out the second half, and there's been a change at half-time. Nana Boateng and Abdom Malaki goes off. We then changed our formation and our game plan. And it seemed to me that, you know, I've just said this already, but why are we the ones chasing? Why are we the ones being compact and trying to hit teams on the break? Why don't we try and, you know, play? Starting at 23s, get them confident, get them playing early. Pop the ball, why not? And we did seem to do that in the second half. Alfie Allen put in some great flying tackles in the first half, very Millwall-esque. And in the second half, when we did try and play, he was at the centre of it. I thought we had a very good game as well. Alfie Allen, I mean, along with Sean O'Brien, who's always just a level above Sean O'Brien. You can see that. He's got that swagger about him. And he'll definitely be in our first team at some point. The problem we had was the only time we had any deliveries of any use or any patterns of play that were any good in the final third, it was from a Sean O'Brien free kick or a Sean O'Brien corner. We just, you know, can't seem to get on the end of things, and the closest we did come early in the second half was Topoloj come up from the back, nearly gets on the end of a corner from Sean O'Brien, doesn't manage to do so, goes over the bar, but we're just lacking a bit in that final third. Tyrese Briscoe had a good opportunity on the break, could have squared it, sort of takes too long dwelling on it like I just did with that sentence, puts it into a defender, comes back. His second strike's not bad, but we very rarely troubled the Cardiff keeper until, surprise, surprise, a little bit like our first team, it was too late. And Cardiff, again, score a second, very similar to the first. We was pressing at this point, and even though it was Cardiff commentary on the game, of course it was, even though it was being, you know, quite complimentary, saying we was coming back into the game, and we get picked off on a break, and they score a second. As I said, it's very similar to the first. Players knocking the ball in, and instead of just all standing still, they're running directly out the goal in a straight line, getting beyond what they've already just given as a pass. And he rolls it in, left-footed, second goal. Not by the same player, but as I said, almost a carbon copy of the first. Then Abdul Malik comes on. I've got to say, looked very good when he came on. And with him, O'Brien, Jaden Davis, Nana Boateng, all on the pitch at once. It was lots of quick interchanging passes. We've got some really exciting talent in the 23s. We really, really have. But we just couldn't seem to get over the line today with attempts. You know, as I said, towards the end, we did press again. A beautiful little dink over the top from Abdul Malik after Nana Boateng gave the ball to him after some good work and went for the return, but he just couldn't convert the chance. It goes into the side net, and then Jaden Davis has a very, very late shout for a penalty, but wasn't given. I think it could have been. It wouldn't have made no difference. It was pretty much the last kick of the game, and it ends up in Cardiff once again in defeat. So there you go. That is your under-23s match report. It's Monday and they've played, which sometimes means if they played on a Monday, they'll play later again in the week on Friday. Hopefully that one will be at Calmont Road. If it is, that could clash with seeing my kids on Friday, but I will try and get to the next game definitely. But listen, encouraging today, not fantastic. Work needs to be done in the final third, but some impressive performances from me, from D.WARD, Gilmore, O'Brien, and Alfie Allen especially. The rest of them done all right. You know, it was it's a difficult task going to Cardiff as the first team, though, and last year's 23s. Please subscribe to Lions TV. Come on, you Lions.